Hey everyone, I'm Bobby Sylvester, the FantasyPros football podcast, and today I've got my top 5 waiver wire pickups for week 3. Now this list only consists of players who are available in at least 50% of leagues. Let's start up at the top where I've got number 5, Jalen Samuels, running back of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now Samuels is the only running back on this list, and in fact if we knew James Conner was going to miss even 1 week, Samuels would be number 1 on this list and not even close. It's a premier role for fantasy football running backs as we've seen in years past with Le'Veon Bell, D'Angelo Williams, and then James Conner in 2018. Now this isn't to say Samuels would have that much success, of course, but he would be an RB2 or better more often than not, so make sure to spend a few fab bucks on him just in case Conner does end up missing some time here. At number 4, we move on to wide receiver where I've got McLaurin. In the preseason, I fell in love with McLaurin's NFL-ready production. Now, he may not be the world's greatest athlete, nor does he have the draft capital on his side, but Washington has made it clear that he's their number 1 receiver, even as a rookie. The game isn't too fast for him, and he just has a knack for finding seams in the defense, which is a very valuable skill and should continue to enable him to get 6 to 8 targets every week. At number 3, let's jump on over to the Kansas City Chiefs for one of their wide receivers. It's DeMarcus Robinson. Now, many are going to be clamoring for Mecole Hardman since he's the top athlete of the bunch, and he had a 70-yard receiving touchdown called back, but the fact of the matter is, the Chiefs prefer Robinson, as evidenced by him playing 91% of the snaps, while Hardman was the distant number 3. There will be weeks where Hardman goes off, but if you're looking for a weekly starter, that man is Robinson, at least as long as Tyreek Hill is out. At number 2, I've got Golden Tate, wide receiver of the New York Giants. Among all the strong receiving options this week, I think Tate's the most likely to slip through the cracks as he has no production to his name and no week 3 matchup to look ahead to, of course, because he's suspended. With that said, he's worth starting most every week once he returns from that suspension, which is now just 2 weeks away. Let's not forget, he was on pace for well over 90 receptions and 1,000 receiving yards again before the midseason trade. Plus, Daniel Jones is likely to be handed the keys in New York any week now. And then at number 1, it's on to the Green Bay Packers, where I've got wide receiver Geronimo Allison. This is another case of people just overreacting in fantasy leagues after 1 week. Allison was clearly banged up in week 1, otherwise he wouldn't have been running behind Trevor Davis. It turns out he was exactly who we expected him to be in the preseason, a fringe wide receiver 3 that you can play in the flex most week, and if anything should happen to Devontae Adams, Allison becomes a strong number 2 right away. Don't forget, Aaron Rodgers loves Geronimo Allison. He's talked about him a ton. And don't worry about Rodgers, by the way. He won't troll Chicago and Minnesota's defenses every week. Alright guys, that's all from my week 3 waiver wire pickups. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for future content. Thanks for watching, and enjoy your football.